Hello and welcome to the replay. I will be right with you. Hello everybody! How are you doing today? I see I have Doris with me right now. Hello, hello. Just getting all my settings so I can see everything I need to see here. Let me get this back up. Let's do this. Alright, let's see if I can put that up there. Okay, so hi everybody. I know it's been a while since I've seen you. This pandemic has been a little hard on me some days. But I wanted to come live today to do a little project with you. I don't know about you, but I'm getting sick of wearing the same old clothes lately. It seems to be t-shirts and yoga pants or t-shirts and jeans every day. And I thought it was time for a new t-shirt. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on today. So I'm just going to make sure my camera angles are good so you can see everything. And then I'll switch you over so you can see what's going on. All right. Let's see. So, I don't know if you guys have ever worked with ink before, but it's really fun. It's very easy to do. It is a little bit different than using chalk. And my biggest challenge with this is not getting ink on my hands and then touching my shirt or whatever it is that I'm working with. But we're going to see if I can conquer that today, and you guys can help me along, because the first thing I'm going to ask you is a question, and that is, what color should I use? So I'm going to switch my camera over, show you my project, and then you can tell me what you think. All right, let's see if I can get this to move. Ta-da! There we go. So now you can see not only my face, but my hands too. So while you are watching, if you would hit that S-H-A-R-E button, we are not supposed to say that word anymore on Facebook, so we say sprinkle. So if you are enjoying what you're seeing and think you have some friends and family that might enjoy it also, please hit that S-H-A-R-E sprinkle button, and we'll let them watch too. So what I have here is just a plain old light blue t-shirt. I prefer V-neck. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like things tight around my neck, and t-shirts feel tight to me. So on the inside of this, I have a mat. It is a Couture mat that's used for inking. It's very, very sticky. You can see it sticks to my hand. And what this does is it keeps my shirt from moving around while I'm inking. So everything's going to stay nice and tight. And it also prevents the ink from bleeding through the front of the shirt to the back of the shirt. You certainly don't want that happening, right? So I've got that inside of my shirt. This is a very large one. I believe I want to say it's about 18 by 18. We also have a smaller one, so if you're doing, little kids shirts or onesies, things like that are smaller, it'll also work with those too. If you don't have one of these mats and you happen to have something called a Cricut machine, you might have a Cricut mat that would also work very well. They're also very sticky on one side of them, and you can slip them right inside of your shirt, and it's not going to move. So that is my story. So what my plan today is I'm going to use a couple different transfers. One of them is my very favorite font lately. It's called Handwritten font, and you may remember that I used it a couple weeks ago when I made this cute little soup mug and I called it Be Well. And I'm going to use the same style of lettering on the t-shirt that I use with this. So not only that, I also have a transfer that I've loved for a long time. Unfortunately, it's not available any longer, but you can see just the versatility on things that you can mix and match with our transfer. So I'm going to be using this big B from a transfer set called Humble and Kind. I'll hold that up just a little bit higher so you can see it. So this one came with a lot of different transfers, some of them bee related, but there was a phrase that said Humble and Kind, which is super cute. But today I'm going to be doing a tribute to a band that my husband plays a lot of their music for, not for, but of. They play their music, and it's the Beatles. So my thought was I would do the words let it be. So I've got my letters cut out, L-E-T, and I've got an I, and then I'll reuse that T again. So I'm going to do let it and then the B. What do you think? I know it's kind of corny, but I think it's kind of cute too. So I've been playing with this a little bit, trying to figure out how to space these letters. I think I've got it. It looks like the T should be right about in the center of my design. But before I even work on that, I'm going to show you how these letters work. So these are cut aparts, and you obviously will cut on the lines to cut out each letter. And I'm going to hold this up really close so you can see that there are these little curves that are on the tops and the bottom of each letter. So I'm also going to ink those curves, because when you put the next letter next to it, which also have the curves will come together and form a circle. So if you're working with chalk, that's easy to just wipe off the little curves after you've chalked them. But because we're using ink, we're going to do it a little bit differently. I don't want to put those curves permanently on my shirt, but there is a solution, and that is tape. So what this is just some painter's tape that we have. You may be following me and know that we're working on our bathroom right now, so we've got all kinds of hardware and things like that around. But I'm going to use this. I'm just going to put it right below the neckline, and I think you guys can see it a little better than me, but that looks pretty straight. I guess if it's not, I'm going to find out about it, right? So what I'll do is when I'm inking those curves, it'll ink onto the tape, and then when I'm done with the project, I can lift the whole tape off, and you'll never know that I used them. Hi Cindy, how are you? Thanks for joining me today. So we're going to do this. It looks to me like the space in between the T and the I is in the center of the shirt. So that, oh, actually the T goes in the center. So it should be right about here. And I'm going to put another tape underneath it so that I can also ink those curves on the bottom. You'll understand what I mean in just a minute when we get this going. All right, so got to find the proper spacing of these. Let me see if I can just leave one and do the rest of it. So again, this is just painter's tape. It should go right about here. All right, so I'm going to be using the top edge of this as my line too, also to try to keep it nice and straight, because we all like it straight, right? Cindy, how you doing today? Okay, so the T is going to go right about in the middle. I can see that my curves will be inked. I keep saying chalked, but I meant ink, right onto this blue tape. So that is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. Yes, I know I can't spell. So it will say let it, and then it will have the little B underneath it. So my question to you guys is, do you think I should do this in white, or should I do this in black? I'm thinking I just want to do one color for the whole design. And the B will go right there. So I have a bit of a delay in my screen. I don't know if you guys are answering me or not, but I'm keeping an eye open on that. So while you're thinking about that, make sure you hit that SHARE button and sprinkle all this fun stuff to your friends so everybody can learn about Couture. If while you're watching me do this, you think, oh my gosh, that is so easy and so much fun, I could do that, and I could totally see myself teaching other people how to do it, please write the word join in the comments. And you don't have to join, but I will get you information and everything that you would need to know about becoming a designer with my company. I love this. All right, so I have paper towels everywhere because I am trying not to get, like I said, anything on my fingers or where it shouldn't go. I'm kind of a messy Jessie, so we'll see. Cindy votes for black. Any other votes? Here's the black and here's the white. So you can see the contrast on this shirt. I kind of like the white because it's nice and bright. I kind of like the black too because that pops as well. So I've got one vote for black. And no votes for white. Don't be shy. Tell me what you think. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to start laying out my letters. It's a tongue twister. So these are all reusable silkscreen transfers. If you haven't heard me say that before, you peel them off of the carrier sheet and you save the little paper because you're going to put it back on there at some point. And normally if I'm working with chalk on a hard surface, I would do something called fuzzing. And what that does is you would attach it to a piece of fabric or a towel, and it would pick up a little bit of lint on the back because these are super sticky. And it helps them peel off a little bit easier when you're all done. But because we're working on fabrics, I don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to put this tea right about in the center where I think it should go. If it comes out crooked, well, it's okay. Don't worry, be happy, right? All right, the only vote I got was for black. So guess what color it's going to be. So I'm just going to lay out the T. I can also lay out the I because those are not going to overlap. We need a little space in between there. And as I said, I'm using the top edge of the tape to make sure that this is nice and straight. I think it's straight anyway. I have the hardest time getting things straight. That's okay. Okay, and those are going to rub them down nice and tight so you don't have any of a gap between the silk screen and the fabric. Okay, you guys are being too shy tonight. All right, so I'm going to get my black out. Cindy picked it. So it doesn't look good. It's your fault, Cindy. Just kidding. All right, so this little jar is a 3-ounce jar of ink that I have had for 2.5 years. And guess what? It's still going strong. Watch those fingers. See, I did get a little bit on just by removing the lid. So I'm going to go in with my stir stick and stir this up. I'm just going to move the weight off to the side now because we're not going to use that. And give that a good stir. I don't know what it is about this ink. It just stays beautiful forever. The difference between the ink and the chalk, obviously the ink is permanent. Your chalk paste will dry really, really quickly, and our inks are much slower drying, so you have a little bit more playtime with it. I'm just going to make sure my heat tool is plugged in and ready to roll. It is not. Pardon my back. Okay, got that. All right. Again, I'm going to check my fingers because it is so easy to get ink on your hands and you don't even realize it. So I'm going to be using one of my teeny tiny mini squeegees today. I'm just going to grab a little bit of that with my squeegee. And because I have the mat there, I don't need to worry about it bleeding through. So I'm going to go and cover not only the letter, but also the curves like I was talking about before. Here we go. Move that paper towel just a little bit. If I can not dump a little bottle of ink on my lap here, that wouldn't be good, huh? So there's my T. Get my I done here too. Ooh, this is a little wider than it looks. So I'm making sure that all of those open areas in the screen have been covered. I'm going to put a little bit thicker on here. And then all of the excess that goes around on the edges, you can just scrape that right off and put it back into the jar. Cindy, have you worked with ink before? Anybody else? Okay. So I'm going to pull this off. Hopefully the tape will stay still. I'm not going to need the eye again. The top of the eye is right on the tape. I hope I didn't do that with the T. If it did, I can fix it. Yeah, this isn't going to come out right. All right, let's move this. I need to move the tapes just a little bit, but it's all salvageable. That one worked fine. Oh, I can see what I did. Okay, so what I did was I didn't have my tape low enough, so the ink went onto the tape. So I just need to adjust that a little bit. Never done it, huh? Well, don't let me scare you. This is really fun stuff. I'm going to move this just a smidge. So it should be pretty easy to line up. Make sure that's nice and smooth. I'm going to go down a 1/4 inch. That looks right. Okay. So I'm going to lay those letters back on top. It's a good thing you guys tuned in because you can learn how to fix your mistakes just like I just did. Okay. So lay this back on here. We'll hard to see through, but probably if I cleaned this I could see it better, right? Alright, I think I've got that one right. And let me get my other one. T needs to be a little taller. Alright, I think I've got it. Alright, just go over the bottoms of that. Hey there, Lynn. How are you doing? Alright, I think I've got it now. Okay, check my fingers again. Let's peel this up. Did I do it again? No, just a little bit more. Alright, I think I'm good. Okay, that T over there, I'm going to need that in just a minute as I get this up. And now I'm going to lay this T. Remember I was talking about those little curves? I'm going to, hopefully I can see through them and match up those curves in the right spot. Oh my goodness, it's hard to see the dark. Cindy, maybe I should have done it in white so I could see what I'm doing. Okay. Alright, I think it's in the right spot. I'll do the T. I don't really need to do the curves on this one because it's the last one in the row. It should be fine. Okay. Fingers are crossed. Alright. And look at my fingers. Inked. I knew it. Alright, let me clean them up a little bit. It's because I was picking up the wet transfers. Okay, so I think I'm going to hit this with the dryer for just a moment. It's okay, it's okay. It really, really is. I'm not going to heat this up too much because I don't want to work the board under the little sticky mat underneath. Okay. That'll just take a little bit more of the wetness away than it would by just leaving it. All right, we'll get the E done. And again, I'm going to try to match up those curves and make sure that I'm not off the tape like I was last time. It's a little hard to see through here. Oops, it's because I'm too low. There we go. Okay, that should be about right. Okay, we're going to do the E. And we'll grab some of that black. Hey, Christine! Welcome, welcome! So here goes the E. A little bit of technical difficulties there for a second, but I think we've got it now. Just going to do the inside of these curves here. I guess it's kind of hard to see the dark ink on the dark blue. Check my fingers again. On the dark blue tape. Do you guys like the Beatles? Hi, Corin. This kind of makes me think of the Beatles. And if you missed the first part of this video, you'll see why in just a couple minutes. I should dry that for just a second. Hold on. Hold that thought. Drop the transfer in the meantime. Just keep my hair out of the ink pot. Alright, so here we go with the L. Yeah, these are really tough to see through. Yikes. But I'm going to eyeball it as best I can. Okay. Oh, By George, I think we've got it. I'm going to straighten that just a little bit more. Okay, here we go. Last letter, and then we're going to do the B underneath it. Hey, Christine. So if you guys like the Beatles, tell me your favorite Beatles song. And, you know, speaking of the Beatles, I saw a movie recently called Let It Be. And it's not really about the Beatles, but it is all at the same time. It's a really good movie. This guy, I don't want to give it away, but this guy suddenly finds out that no one in the world has ever heard of the Beatles or any of these songs, and he starts singing them. And it's an amazing movie. It's called Let It Be. I think it's on cable now, so you could rent it. All right, so we've got all our letters done. I'm going to peel this back. Oh yeah, looks good. Let's see if I can do this without inking myself up. All right, we've got Let It. We could have done Let It Snow too, huh? So I think it's a little off center, but that's okay, right? We'll make it look like we did it on purpose. So here's my bumblebee, and this is again was from a set called Humble and Kind, but it is not available anymore. But hey, you could do this with a snowflake or whatever. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little out off center, so I'm going to put him here. And check, make sure that looks pretty straight. Here Comes the Sun. That's a really good one. Yeah, I love that one too. You would like this movie if you like the Beatles. Check it out. It's called Let It Be, by the way. All right, we're going to do a nice big black bumblebee. There's something to be said for keeping it simple and using one color, but there's always times when you got to use more. But I think this is going to be cute with just one color. All right, here we go. Let's get this bumblebee done. This would look even cute on a pair of jeans. You could put a bumblebee on a baseball hat. But really, any of our smaller designs work on your t-shirts. But even some of the bigger ones, you can just use parts of them, and they look great. So this was, again, a mixture of Humble and Kind, and the lettering is called Handwritten font. It is my favorite I think we've ever had. Kind of reminds me of that Ray Dunn font that's really popular right now. Okay, I'm just scraping off the excess. That looks pretty good. I'm putting it back in my jar. I hate to say it, but I haven't gotten any ink on the shirt that I didn't want there. Okay, let's peel this up. Oh, I love it. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so what do you think, guys? I think we did a good job, and I like the black too. All right, let me dry this up a little bit, and then I'm going to tell you how to heat set this. Hi, Doris. All right, I'm not going to heat that too much. I can see that it starts to warp the mat underneath if you do it too long. What I think I might do with this, because it is a little bit off center, the space should be a little bit closer in. I think I might find a very small bee transfer that I have and put it right there. But I'm not going to do that right now because I don't have it with me. So what I was going to tell you about heat setting is you can use a heat press by Cricut. They have this big like boxy thing. You can pop it down on there and it heats it up and it's ready in about 30 seconds. However, what I usually do is I don't have one of those. I use my regular household iron, and you heat it up to medium setting, and then you take a piece of parchment paper or if you don't have that, just use a piece of clean white like computer paper, lay it on top, and you're going to heat set it. So you do 4 minutes on the front, and then you put it inside out, and you do 4 minutes on the inside, and that will heat set it. I have put these in the washer, the dryer. They have never faded or failed me, so I love using our inks. So do you guys have any question about how to heat set? Yeah, it works beautifully, and like I said, I have washed things over and over and over again, and they look super. So I really love the way this came out, and I definitely think I need a little bee right there. What do you think? Just to fill in that space a little bit, and it'll make it look more centered. I like it. Anyhow, hoping to be coming back to you. Is this a good time? I'm dying to know what time is best for you guys to hop in and watch. What was I using? This is called an embossing tool. I've had this for crafting for years and years. And essentially embossing is when you like stamp something with an ink, and then you put this powder on it and it puffs up when you heat it. I don't use this all the time. Sometimes I just use a hairdryer. If you don't have an embossing tool, it is perfectly okay. Hairdressers work fine. You can also air dry, but it's a lot quicker if you have a tool. This tool is super high heat, very concentrated. So if you do use it, just keep it moving. Don't let it sit in one place. I've actually seen chalk bubble because it got overheated. So you don't want to burn your chalks or your inks. But a plain old hairdryer works just as well, or air dry, whichever. I'm always, trying to get it done quick. So I will find that little bumblebee and pop it in there, and then I'm going to post it so you guys can see how it came out. But I want to thank you for watching. If you are not a member of my VIP group, please write VIP in the comments. That is where I am allowed to do my sales. You want to go to my sales. And I do have some special things just for my VIPs. Do I use ink or paste on ceramic tiles? Here's the rule of thumb, Cindy. If you are going to, if you can heat set it with an iron or in your oven, then you would use ink. It will be permanent. If you if you're going to use it on something like wood, metal, glass, chalkboards, anything like that that you would not put in your oven or iron, you definitely would use chalk. That's pretty easy. If you can heat set it in the oven or with an iron, use your inks. How's that? Anything else today? This is a good time, supper time. I'm like, I don't know. It's hard to tell. People are either cooking dinner, or if it's a little bit later, it's TV time, or if it's early, it's daytime, and people got all kinds of things going on right now. But yeah, I'm always trying to figure out what time is best for everybody. So thanks for watching. Again, if this looks like something fun that you would like to do as a designer, please let me know. I'll send you some information, and I'll help you get started. I also have a Club Couture, which I think Cindy's a member of, where I know you are, every month they send you a brand new exclusive design transfer that only our members can get, and you get 3 chalk paste singles, which are these little tiny packets of paste. It's enough to finish your project with, and those are delivered straight to your door. Just write club in the comments and I can get you information on that. So thanks for popping in tonight, and I hope you have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you again real soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.